so because I go by and run a good bit. Uh-huh. Gotcha. Okay. National state owns Tempe property. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
see if it can.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Lord.
Okay.
No, we gotta do something
Okay.
about minimum.
Okay. Yeah, that's
sizes.
the first I'm hearing of
You
it.
can't buy a tough shed and live
Because
in it.
I've been wondering, like,
Cause you don't
that.
like
Yeah.
Ward 5 and 6, right? Put your little bitty house on.
I can
Okay.
redo your
Yeah.
settings.
yeah,
It's down.
What's going on, Mike?
yeah.
Alright, y'all ready?
I appreciate it.
Alright, good afternoon. Welcome to June 18th, 2024 Bay St. Louis City Council meeting. We'll start out with a prayer by Reverend Reed, followed by the pledge.
Good evening, let's pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Now, Father, today as we stand in this meeting, Father, we just want to express to you how grateful that we are to be members and citizens of this great city. And it's only because you have made us that and you've made this city great. We're asking for your wisdom and your counsel and your leading to make the right decisions in wisdom and knowledge and understanding. Father, that you would grant this council and this administration that kind of wisdom, that kind of knowledge and understanding. We ask this in the name of your Son, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, welcome to the Bay St. Louis Council meeting. Any amendments to the agenda needed? Anything? All right, no guest. Minutes approval. Need approval for minutes of June 4th meeting.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Hoffman, second by Mr. DeSalvo. Any discussion? No changes made. Vote the motion.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 5-0. Mr. Lewis is out the room. Next item on the agenda, motion to follow planning and zone recommendation, approved application for special exception and variance to the zoning order submitted by Donald Robinson requesting a special exception to construct a detached accessory dwelling in a variance of 623 square feet to minimum lot area located at 223 Leonard Avenue. Mr. Robinson or anyone here representing?
Chris Hansen with Crane Builders.
Any questions? So I was on the property yesterday walking around. I guess you're gonna cut that old pecan tree down?
Yeah.
And take all that concrete, I guess, were steps there. I guess the original house was there, correct?
Mhm.
Lost an application. All right, the reasoning behind not connecting this structures together by a breezeway or some type of
Insurance,
insurance,
flood insurance.
flood insurance, because you're not required to carry flood insurance on the second dwelling or accessory dwelling?
The coverage, if it was one structure, is maximum 250,000.
Okay.
And they're just looking for greater flood insurance coverage.
Okay.
And it's designed in a way as to look like one structure. It has a wraparound deck that connects the two there.
Yeah, that's what I was kind
From
of
the front
confused
elevation,
about, right?
it's gonna
'Cause
look
we're-
like one,
I-
look like one structure.
Yeah, I have some concerns about some accessory dwellings, the way we're looking at them and where they're being defined, right? Very gray area to me. again, looking at the drawings, you read 1,000 different things, right? International Residential Code says a house has to have a bathroom, bedroom, and a kitchen, right? The accessory dwelling structure, this one does not have a kitchen. To me, that's for discussion about, 10 different people could think about it differently, but I look at it as accessory dwelling should have a kitchen. It's part of the rules and regulations. This one does not. Therefore, a couple years ago, we required people to look at something differently. It's in my area. Quite honestly, I don't like start this type of giving variances for this type of structures, quite honestly, because it just starts perpetuating and you start getting accessory dwellings that are apartments. You start packing in people, having an apartment behind their house, and then you start more infrastructure, more cars, more problems, quite honestly. So I think
Well, the purpose of the second dwelling is to be a personal art studio.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the design, but it's actually called accessory dwelling. Right, so if I do that, International Residential Code says that, I got it on here, that it's, these criteria are not met from that standpoint. And again, we just have concerns about parking, about having additional people living on the property. And really, there's no reason that the spaces, that's why I was wondering why they're not attached by a breezeway or such. But I understand that, your maximum insurance coverage from FEMA.
Right.
I mean, you can buy flood insurance on the market today. There's a lot of companies that sell flood insurance on the market besides FEMA.
Well, and I have, I don't know, does this meet a true hardship and necessitate a variance request, and as you said, I mean, if it's a issue of flood, there's excess flood. So anyways, I have a hard time justifying the rationale just based off of insurance. Now, if it was a matter of, okay, couldn't get insurance for whatever reason, whatever the case may be, but it's just to that effect of just that they want to max is 250 and one additional.
If the lot was 650 square feet bigger, we would have to need it.
Well, you could build a single structure though. Yeah. So any more discussion? Any motion from the council?
Doug,
Oh, sorry.
on the agenda now, it doesn't show what never mind. It doesn't show what the actual vote was, but it does show that planning and zoning recommended
Yeah,
approval.
it was, so the note from the administration on this, administration recommended deny special exception variance accessory dwellings or in common and limited area, and plans can be altered to make additional space part of the primary dwelling. So again, I think
Say that again, Don.
administration had said recommend denial. Reason one was accessory dwellings are not common in the Leonard area, and plans can be altered to make additional space part of the primary dwelling. So it's not a space issue.
Okay, so basically, P&Z and administration is
Yes.
to
Yeah.
see, okay.
So again, my personal preference is I'd like to start. There's a lot of issues with accessory dwellings that we need to discuss, quite honestly.
Mayor, has anything changed in terms of what administration's recommendation to deny based on that in the meeting?
I think they, looking at it as another dwelling on the property, whether it's, where that could easily be, turned into a VRBO or anything else, whether, it's tomorrow or the next day or down the road. And that's the reason that it's not it's not any in the area that I know of. And again, I think when we allow it, we need to make sure we're looking at the surrounding areas and what it can handle, and if it does get turned into that, and that,
So is this sort of like a mother-in-law cottage he's trying to?
Yeah.
same
kinda.
thing, yeah.
So, of course, in 2018 International Residential Code, Part 2, Chapter 2 definitions, dwelling unit, a special unit, a single unit providing complete independent living facilities for one or more persons, including permanent provisions for living, sleeping, eating, cooking, and sanitation. That's the IRC. So, yeah. Any more discussion from council? motion? I'll make a motion to deny.
Second.
Motion by Seal, second by Lewis. Any discussion? Vote to motion.
Aye.
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 Aye, motion passes. Passes 6-0, denied. Thank you.
Denied?
Yes, denied.
Thank you.
Thank you. Second motion, follow plan and zone recommendation, approve the application for variance of zoning ordinance submitted by Leah and Taryn Rogers requesting a variance of 30 feet resulting in 20-foot setback to the front yard and a variance of 12-foot resulting in 8-foot setback to the rear yard located 1350 North Beach Boulevard. This application was approved by planning and zoning. The administration recommendation on this property is to approve. Trying to read the, yeah. Administration recommends approve of variance. Lot is irregular size and shape. Based on Lewis have infrastructure on part of the property. We've got two big cisterns and one drainage culvert goes across to the bay there.
Doug, this is the one right there in the curve,
corner.
right by
Yes.
the island.
Yes,
got
sir.
It's a
the lift
100.
station out front where it's
Yes,
like a pie shape,
right.
Mm-hmm.
you know, and
Yeah, I walked it yesterday for a little while trying to seeing how we're gonna fit this house in between those trees, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna,
and that's a good
We're
thing,
leaving, yes, we're leaving the
leaving the
trees.
trees.
that's why we're trimmed up.
That's why I need the setback, because
Yep.
we're gonna leave the oak
Yeah.
trees.
So it's pretty deep, so, it'll fit. Then neither one of the neighbors objected to it.
He didn't.
No, neither one of them.
Oh,
objected.
no one, no.
Yeah,
I
no one
reached out to both of them, and
Yep.
then actually one of them was here with me at the
Correct.
planning and zoning.
Any discussion, any questions? And then the average setback there, is around 30 feet. Actually, I know on an open beach area, setback's normally 50 feet.
Hmm.
But looked at all those houses across there and 32 feet, 30 feet, so probably average setback is 30 feet.
Okay.
But because this goes back to a pie shape, they need to they're going as far back and asking for a variance on the rear yard
Mhm.
to allow the house to set back 20 feet, so it will not be out of character from what the area
Correct.
looks like. Any questions, discussion? Motion from the council,
Motion to follow P&Z's recommendation and approve.
motion to Salvo,
Second.
second Mr. Reed. Any further discussion? Vote to motion.
Aye.
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 Motion passed 6-0. Thank you.
Thank you, council.
Next application, motion to follow plan and zone recommendation, approve the application for special exception zoning ordinance submitted by Selenia LeBlanc, requesting special exception to allow accessory dwelling on a parcel located at 411 Valentine Street.
Second.
Yes, ma'am. Would you tell us kind of what you want to do, what your intent?
Well, the dwelling is to accommodate my children, because right now I financially cannot afford to add on to my home, do that from that, and I have
Yep.
kids.
Same case as the first one with accessory dwelling. It's really not fit criteria, accessory dwelling. Did you submit plans, interior plans? All we have is a picture of a
The location.
shed,
Yes.
right? I don't have any internal plans, don't show any bedrooms, bathrooms.
It does
kitchen.
have walls and
Yeah.
everything
See,
in
that's-
place.
Yeah, that's what we have.
I was waiting for approval for dwelling
yeah.
before I do anything further.
Right. Again, I think the administration also approved to deny this.
It's similar rationale, I
Similar
think, to the
rationale,
last one.
right.
Just uncommon for the area.
But again, it's just understand what you're trying to do, but understand the overall scope of what we're trying to do in the city, right, is to continue to protect what we have, enhance what we have, and understand the need for looking at something like this in your situation. But unfortunately, as you continue to do this, you perpetuate something that's doesn't work well for the city of Bay St. Louis today.
As far as you thinking I want to rent it out, because
It
I
could
would
be.
never
Yes,
do
ma'am.
that.
Oh, I know,
It's on my
you
own
would, but
property.
you'll sell it, you could sell it to somebody tomorrow and they could rent it out. You know, again, right, I understand you stand in front of us, but tomorrow someone, I've had, you'd be surprised how many times in 24 years somebody said, I would never do that. And they sell the property, they didn't do it, then the person they sold it to did it. But again, it's not that, I think it's perpetuation of allowing accessory dwellings in areas they're not common to be in, and they don't fit the character of the neighborhood. That's just my personal opinion. We have 6 of us up here. The administration has recommend to deny the variance. And it's not common. What about vehicles as well, additional vehicles parked on Valentine Street? Thank you. Anybody, council, have a question?
I think you covered it.
Comments?
Just looking at R2, so she could add one to the house and have a
Right.
duplex there.
Yep.
But no.
All right.
And she's over the square footage.
Any discussion? Motion?
I make a motion to deny the application.
Motion, Mr. Lewis.
Second.
Second, Mr. Hoffman. Any further discussion? All in favor, vote to motion.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passed 6-0. Motion, that permit has been denied. All right, Mr. Mayor.
First one's, to reappoint Ms. Janet Freeman to Bay Wayland Housing Authority for another 4-year term.
They need a motion?
So move.
Motion, Mr. Reed.
Second.
Second, Mr. Hoffman. Any discussion? Vote to motion.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passed 6-0.
Thank you. Next is to accept the resignation of Jimmy Osborne from the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Right.
He just had to step down because of work.
Okay.
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Hoffman.
Second.
Second, Mr. Reed. Any discussion?
I just want to thank Mr. Osborne for his service to the city. The couple of years, I think he's done a lot of good things. So
Yep.
I hate that we're losing him, but I do want to thank him for that. So.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I agree with that for sure.
Thank you.
It's a thankless job. But it's fun. It's fun.
It's fun.
It's fun. I like it. Hell. Any more discussion? Let's vote the motion.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passed 6-0.
Thank you. Next is to ratify the appointment of Ms. Michaela Brown, which is here with us this afternoon, to take the place of Jimmy on the Planning and Zoning Commission. She,
Like to come forward and
I think everybody has a
tell us
resume
about
that was
yourself
sent
and
out.
introduce yourself.
Right, hello, my name is Michaela Brown. I've been a resident of Bay St. Louis all my life. I live at 311 Washington Street. Yeah, I don't know. What else would you like to know?
Cool. That's it. Thank you for,
All right.
for volunteering, right? It's not a thankless job. You do make a difference. I mean, you can make a difference, right? I mean, you can help steer your community in the right directions. So thank you for doing that.
Yes.
All right, need a motion to ratify the mayor's appointment, Ms. Michaela Brown, to Planning and Zoning Commission.
So move.
Motion, Mr. Reed.
Second.
Second, Mr. Hoffman. Any discussion? Vote to motion.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 6-0. Council business.
Doug, can I just
Oh.
mention, I got a couple things I just need to mention. The Purple Park, City Park, big huge oak tree in the middle. We lost a huge part of that tree last weekend. And in the process now of a couple of arborists waiting on them to come in. I think we had 3 of them coming in to get their opinions, whether we have to remove the whole tree or what their thoughts are with that. So we'll keep everybody updated on that as we go forward. I know one of them's coming tomorrow when the other 2, and these are certified arborists coming in, to look at this tree to see what their thoughts are on this,
Was that just on the sheer weight of that? I know it was a large.
Yeah,
so it was just
that's what. Yeah, because it wasn't like it was rotten where it broke off and all. And the guy that was out there today, was talking about the weight of this limb, and hanging out there. And maybe they had the part that came down and landed on the ground that everybody would be on. Not sure if that possibly may have broke and gave that little sudden jolt, for it to come down. But it is a big tree, very old. I wouldn't even begin to guess, but I would think excess of 200, 225 years old. But it's in bad shape, but we just need to find out for the safety of the kids in the playground. One of the things was said, well, you could move the equipment out, move this out, fence that area off, if we did want to keep it, but that's just something to look at, and we'll keep everybody before anything's done on that update and all.
Cool, thank you. That's it?
Had a few phone calls. No, we good. That's been touched already.
Okay. Council business, motion to spread RFQ for grant administrator for SWIFT grants and letter to MEMA requesting SWIFT grant budget amendments on, need to spread those to the minutes.
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Salvo,
Second.
second, Mr. Hoffman. Any discussion? Vote the motion.
Aye.
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 Motion passes 6-0. FEMA regulations, mold drive update. Talked to Mr. Michelle today. Explain to you, we got some new updated appraisal, and have not finished the spreadsheet. Got it right here somewhere. So lot was valuated at, average appraisal price was 1,885. Lot was valuated at 38. $150,500. Break that into 50% valuation, 75,250 is what they're looking at to Belly to update that structure before they get above the 50% value. And there's some discussion around that, and I'll continue to have that discussion. But right now, I think we're till we get more information. I think we really have no more talking points about this until we get more information. I need to find out your building cost information that you had. I thought I had it here, and I don't. I give you my email address. Just send me what you got. But I just want to finish and clean it up. So I got the average carpenter wage, labor wage, drywall wage, plumber wage, painter wage, electrician wage. I got all that figured up. Got it here, labor rate. So it varies around. So. Okay. Yep, and we'll discuss that. Where we at here? Tennis courts.
Talked with the school on that. They're trying to put together the proposal. One of the thoughts, do we want to take that on? Myself with the bathrooms and all, we got problems in every bathroom in the city we have. They're vandalized during the daytime, nighttime, if we're busy and don't get them locked up and all. But it's not just nighttime, it's daytime and all, and to take that responsibility, I would really see us move forward, and go after the funds to build, whether we build at McDonald Park, whether we take and convert, a basketball court at Julia Street over to tennis, or on the side over there, put a tennis court next to it. I would rather see us move forward as a city and have our own courts along with the pickleball courts and everything else. One of the things came up is, again, this happens during the day, it happens at night, they break in and whatever. But the thing is, if they're ready to use these for a school event and all, and they open it up and it's all vandalized, then what happens to that event and all? And again, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, we didn't have these problems that we have now. And I think, when you look around and see what goes on in every one of our bathrooms, it's a regular routine, that they're just trashed and also. But they all looking at something, wait for them to get back and all.
Yeah. I know, there's a way to, it's not perfect, but, those courts are divided by a little shade area, which you can isolate one court and not have the bathrooms, right? And you still have vandalism issue. They still could vandalize. They used to cut the nets at the old tennis courts right there by the baseball field. The kids do. So there's to me, there's options. Again, right, I agree the vandalism is, but we can isolate one court, possibly fencing it. It's not the
I don't know.
solution for
I
the
don't know
school.
if we can isolate one court there or not.
Well,
I know we can do 3.
Yeah, take that one divider out, because there's a little seating area between courts. You can take that out, put a fence in that area, put a gate on the very far end.
I think it would impact their play.
Well, it would change the way.
They're out there playing for high school.
Right, it would change the way they would use those 2 courts. The rest of the courts would be the same. But
Yeah.
we're going to continue to look at it.
It's something we can see what they come back
Right,
with now.
yeah,
But I
that's
would
what
really
I
like
see.
to put a plan in, and hopefully the court up at City Hall will be turned back into, tennis when the pickleball courts get built. That would relieve some of the pressure, more time up there available. And again, again, if we can look at a court to turn into this, you know, to a tennis court, whether it's a basketball court or just go in and look at it and building ourselves.
Yeah, we looked at putting a tennis court next to, on Julia Street, where we've got the dog park at. Want to move the dog park down to St. Joseph Chapel property.
Mhm.
Get with the diocese and ask about us, long-term lease on that. Move the dog park down there, cause there's plenty of room.
Right.
We put tennis
On
courts.
that corner, what is that,
Yeah.
Blakemore?
Blake,
No, is it? No,
No,
the next one.
hell is Blake, yeah, Blakemore,
Harrison.
Harrison.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, long-term, let's see what they come back with.
All right,
Well, just one other comment on that, because I know when this has been discussed in the past, it was, we're waiting on, you know, a rec director to where they can kind of monitor, have the keys and lock it up. And I know there's probably not issues in the evening because it stays locked. Vandalism in the evening, it would stay open during the day. As you said, Mayor, I mean, there's no rhyme or reason it could get vandalized during the day. I'm sure y'all discussed if cameras
Yeah.
are a deterrent on that. Again, we're just, you know, any other options on the table, but,
yeah, you know, and again, security cameras is only so good. But they come in with more options, you know.
10-4. Alrighty, any more, council business, Mr. Hoffman?
Just know we had talked about with the pickleball courts going in there, maybe up in the, speed bumps there on Almond and Carroll. We looked at any options on that, or?
Yeah, Ronnie was
Any
checking to
estimates on
see
the
if he
speed
has
table?
any in stock and see how long it'd be before they get them in. Also waiting on that guy to come in maybe and pave them, like we
Yeah,
talked
cause that
about.
speed table, I think,
Yeah.
would probably be the best way to do it.
Yeah, so he's waiting on that guy. That guy was supposed to come do our patches and hadn't showed up yet, so. I think he's on his last chance to show up.
Yeah.
Alright, Mr. Reed?
Go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, thank you for, taking care of that at the Boys and Girls Club. Looked like they moved that dumpster out the way, and, those citizens got access now to come in to their
Yeah.
property there. Now, we did say that with the grass cutting and weed eating, they're supposed to be picking up trash.
Yep.
They, maybe you can check on that.
We reminded him of that,
Yeah,
not just on Highway 603, 90 and that and all, but around town as well.
right.
I know Subi Street's a bad one right there on that corner. Central has some bad locations, as bad as some few places around town, and we remind them about picking up the trash instead of just cutting it up and blowing it.
Yeah, like Old Spanish Trail, they did that last week, and,
Old Spanish Trail's another one.
and, were you able to check on the cycling of the splash pad at MLK?
Yes, operator error. Everything was good.
Okay,
They
so
just
it's
had to go,
cycling now?
they just had to go in there and tweak some things now. First, they thought some of the switches went bad,
Mm-hmm,
and then when they went back in there, they was able to get everything going.
all right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. That's all, Mr. President.
Salvo?
I'm good.
Lewis?
yeah, just to update, Mayor, and I know we've discussed in the past, I know, Jason and Ronnie were looking at not just culverts, I know there's on Turner, Victoria, 7th, 8th, some of those areas, we've got some collapsed culverts, just old ones, and we wanted to look at more system-wide in the city. Where do we stand on that project and some of that scope, just
I know it's on Ronnie's table.
Mm.
Work there in that area, work on Highland Esplanade and work in Ward 6.
The goal would be to try to do it all at one time.
No, he's just trying to get it together and catch up on a lot of emergencies, things that's happening and all. But again, we're still struggling to get people in public works, someone that can, you know, go out and dig. We had someone and was making good, you know, I say progress, you know, along the way, but he was unable to stay with us and everything. He had an accident and unable to work right now. So, but it's on his plan, and
Okay.
and then if we just need to put something together to go out and find a contractor to come in and charge us, you know, per culvert, whatever, however,
Okay.
get a price. He's working on that as well.
I appreciate that. And then I know you guys were, I think Ronnie was looking at that sinkhole and breeding place.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's hoping to get to that this week.
Okay.
He got one there, 2 or 3 in Shieldsboro. That's same thing as that. I think we've had a couple of them in there we've repaired before, but we got 2 or 3 in there as well, and there's one more around town somewhere like that.
Okay. All right.
But breeding places, you can watch it get bigger and bigger, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's when they're putting in some of the fiber and issues there. Is it?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Ran through there and busted it.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. That's all I've got.
Mr. Buddy?
I'm good.
Good. The only thing I do, accessory dwelling units, we really need to kind of figure out administration, how we need to get a handle on those and have some stringent guidelines if we are gonna, you know, I mean, if you look at the state stat, I mean, it's really hard to, they're all over the place on, you know, I don't think bringing in a manufactured structure.
A shed,
No.
yeah,
Right.
to bring in a shed and
Yeah.
turn it into, you know, a
Right.
living.
I just
Which
don't,
I do not
Yeah.
think if that was actually, if those plans were submitted, I do not think they would be approved. I have looked at whether or not we should specifically, there's a part of your, planning and zoning that it kind of fits under, but I think you could further expand on that by specifically saying portable sheds or
something.
whatever
right?
the, you know,
Yeah.
industry term is that specifically are not allowed to
Right.
be used as any sort of
Right.
residential structure, home, accessory dwelling, otherwise.
That's,
The kitchen, going by your planning and zoning book and the international code, it was determined a couple years ago, specifically, might even been 3 years ago, that kitchens were not the end all of whether or not something is an accessory dwelling. Because especially in today's world, you don't need a stove to live in a house. And so,
it's part of
what-
residential code, RC it is.
not for an accessory dwelling. It says the temporary or whatever. I mean, so what, basically, if you want to interpret it and if you
Right,
want to call that, then you probably
Yes, we
would
need
want
to
to
figure
amend
out.
your code, because what's gonna happen is you're gonna have people living or renting out in VRBO sheds all over your town.
Right.
So if you want that, and then the setbacks also change. So if you want to take that
How do we,
concern, or
how do we, fig-
you know,
how do- how
if
do
you wanted
address
to
it,
have
right?
to have a kitchen, or not have to have a kitchen, I mean, my recommendation to you would not be to have a full kitchen, and these things are very situational. The one you look at today, it had a stove, it had a counter, I mean, not a stove, it had a big kitchen sink area, a large space that could have put, you know, any sort of
I mean, it's
hot
like,
plate type.
it's like the ones on Main Street in the 500 block here, you know, those 2 homes coming up there, it's got a dwelling behind it. And, I mean, these are full-fledged houses that's behind it back there. It's not a little 600-700 square foot mother-in-law cottage. It's full-fledged house.
I just, you know, part of residential code, right, dwelling unit, single unit providing complete independent living facilities for one or more persons, including permanent provisions for living, sleeping, eating, cooking, and sanitation. Then it goes on to say what are legal requirements must be met for an ADU in Mississippi. Legal requirements in Mississippi can vary, but generally ADUs.
What are you reading?
Internet stuff, some
Like
code,
Google?
code on the small, tiny house stuff, right, trying to wear this, and it says, ADUs must conform to standards concerning habitable rooms, kitchens, bathroom facilities, ceiling heights, egress, and all the according to compliances. So, again, that's why we have, discussion is because we have no rules, and they're not defined in the International Residential Code. It says if you don't have a definition in the code, then you fall back on your code, which a residence requires a kitchen. Right, so that's why I said we need to figure this out. But the code today, since it doesn't define accessory structure, says you go back to your residential code, and the residential code says you gotta have a kitchen. So
What
again,
defines
how we balance it, we just need to
What
make,
defines a kitchen?
right,
You know, because the stove's not a permanent fixture.
other heating, the above, the above
I mean,
are all
yeah,
accessory.
stove is a temporary, so I mean, you could take
Right.
this, most of us in our house probably has a stove that you could go right now and pull it out and not have one or put another one in.
Right.
So, I mean, I would, if there is a difference in the interpretation that you guys wanna see, the administration needs to know this, because,
We just need to follow the rules, and then we need to figure out what the rules are. right?
well, the
Because
rules that we have followed for at least 3 years now is that
I just need a copy of them.
if, I don't
just need a
know if
copy of
they're,
them.
I mean, I think, I saw an email earlier that they sent you, but if
It
you're
did not
looking
say
for
the rules.
something
It
that
just says, this
says,
is what we think.
Well, I guess, Doug, that is the policy that has been followed. So if you want something that specifically says an accessory structure has a, has to have a kitchen, and this is what the definition of a kitchen is, then I would
We-
recommend that we
right.
pass an ordinance or draft an ordinance of the language that you'd like to see, and that we can get that
Okay.
that
Let's-
done.
So I'd like the administration to, if we're gonna have accessory structure, City of Bay St. Louis, clearly define what accessory structure is and what is required in it. Accessory dwelling, I'm sorry, okay? What I got was a dwelling unit or accessory dwelling does not need a kitchen. Below is the definition from 2018 RSC book.
Does or
Would-
does not?
This was the email I got. Does not. For
Yeah.
example, cooking may be done in a microwave or hot plate. Well, the research I did says it can't be done in a, it says other heating elements such as microwaves and ovens cannot be substituted for a stove.
But
But
again,
again-
what are you reading? I'm not trying to,
Just-
but
no,
what
just-
are you reading? What is your,
Just
what is this
researching on
in-
the internet.
Tur-
The-
yeah,
The Mississippi,
so-
it's a part of the Mississippi tiny homes, because I think all of this stuff come out of the tiny home.
so your interpretation as a council can be
Yes.
whatever you want it to be?
It depends, as
So-
long as it follows the International Residential Code
Mhm.
for a dwelling. That's what it has to do. It says permanent provisions for living, sleeping, eating, and cooking. It don't say temporary, it says permanent.
But again,
Whatever
so,
permanent means,
okay, again, a
right?
stove that you have in your house, if you wanna
I
follow
take it out
that
every day and bring it with
mechanism,
me.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
I
could.
understand. I do understand. I understand.
And,
your
and I
argument.
guess what I'm not trying to argue with you, the administration needs some direction from you guys as what you want
I'd like to.
what you want it defined. That's what it
Yes.
needs to be. It's hard for, I've told you how they're interpreting
Right.
it. If it's something that somebody could
Correct.
easily live in, they're calling that an accessory dwelling
Right.
in order to prevent basically studio-style apartments from popping up all over the city, being rented on VRBOs. So if you want,
Mm-hmm. Right.
if you guys want that to be a kitchen that has a stove, a microwave, if you want that defined, we need that guidance in order
Okay.
to put something, because
Right.
I'm telling you how it's being followed. So if we want something more specific, I need you to tell me what you,
So just,
want,
I
so
need
that
a
I can draft-
definition of a dwelling unit from the International Residential Code. What's the requirements? They were minimum required 750 feet of a dwelling.
Yep.
That's minimum requirements. So does a house, what is the minimum requirements for a dwelling for a house? What does it have to have? Just send me that in email and we can go from there.
Got it.
of an
I-
accessory dwelling.
No, a dwelling, no, because accessory dwellings are not defined in the International Residential Code. It says if it's not defined, you fall back on the IRC code.
All right.
So
So
just,
w-
yeah, so we can move, again, my first question was how do we make sure we're looking at this the same, right? Because, again, and right or wrong, I'm right or wrong, we just need to make sure we're all on the same page. Because we don't need to be having, 750-foot house and then next door to it is a tough shed, right? And I don't know how you spell that out, and, I guess the building codes would prohibit that, maybe, and maybe not, right? I just don't want us to get into that pickle. We approve something, and then it turns into something bad over time, and everybody's got a tough shed in the back that's an apartment, right, with a bedroom.
So the basis that we denied the two citizens tonight, what basis did we deny them on?
No hardships.
No hardships.
Yeah.
All right, now,
Didn't feel
if we
it was there.
define this here, will we give them the opportunity to come back before us instead of locking them out for?
They
what,
can
a year?
always reapply,
Okay,
yeah.
because I think if we deny them, they can't reapply for about a year, right?
No, they can,
No.
they automatically can reapply.
Okay.
The one in my area, right, it was
Mhm.
really no hardship, right? Your variance or special exception should be a hardship that you can't overcome.
Okay.
This is not in that area, not the case.
And it doesn't really conform to what's in the
Right,
area.
does it conform in the area, and do you want everybody's backyard to have a accessory?
Mother-in-law's cottage.
Yeah, mother-in-law's cottage, yeah, again, it can get out of hand and,
See this more and more, and we see accessory structures that are turned into dwellings.
Yeah.
Once that happens, it's very hard to prove.
One
No.
thing,
Estabrook was a prime example some years ago, and was able to go in and meet with the guy, and he didn't have it for living, even though they said he was, had people living in it. And when Ricky and them went by there, he opened it up, and it was his garage. Now, have, availability to fry fish and different things like that, and a bathroom in there and all. But it was, it wasn't being lived in. But that guy was just, didn't care, and he opened it up
Yeah.
to show that it wasn't, like that.
There was a shed on the major thoroughfare that was a nice shed and was turned in, it's a house now. People are living in the back, living in the backyard of
They
it.
out there and
You know.
you just don't even know it.
Right. And that's what you
So-
don't wanna
And I can tell you that
exacerbate.
International Residential Code describes a dwelling or defines a dwelling as any building that contains one or two dwelling units used, intended, or designed to be built, used, rented, leased, let, or hired out to be occupied, or that are occupied for living purposes. A dwelling unit is defined as a single unit providing complete independent living facilities for one or more persons, including permanent provisions for living, sleeping, eating, cooking, and sanitation.
Yep, that's exactly what I read.
Well, that's your,
So that's what
Residential
we
code.
need to define, what the council, if it's our decision, what we want, then,
I mean, so what the administration does is interpret what they have.
Right.
So right now, they're interpreting this, if somebody comes in, like what was on the agenda today,
right.
that was determined by the administration to be an accessory dwelling, which is why it was sent to planning and zoning rather than just allowed as a shed or an accessory structure by right.
Well, I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to do the right thing so people don't make a shed and turn it into a bedroom, right?
And,
But again,
and
I
like
think
we
we're
talked
subverting the
earlier,
rules.
there's one out there who had it on his plans for mother-in-law quarters.
Right.
When he's told to go before P and Z for the setbacks and all and get it approved for the setback, and the variances, he just changed it to a shed. All good and well what's gonna be there, and that's what you see.
Right.
It's happened before, it's happened, it's probably every street just about
Right.
nowadays you can go down to see where somebody changed a garage to some type of living area. And
And a kitchen is simply
Okay.
described as, kitchen shall mean an area used or designated to be used for the preparation of food. So it doesn't say anything about what you do with the food.
Right.
I mean,
How
if you have a
fit.
refrigerator and a
Right.
sink, I mean, and a counter space.
We mentioned VRBO a few times. We're probably one of the only cities that don't have a VRBO ordinance still. I still think it's
and
something
we're
we need to
pushing for
address.
that for coming.
We missing opportunity.
We hope to have something.
Every city I go to. Every
Since
city.
2015, I've been trying and
We just gotta quit being scared to do it and do it. I mean, 'cause
ready to get sued, You're gonna get sued.
every city on the coast,
Everybody in the city
has
has
it
one.
but
I
us.
think Heather has put together
Everybody
a
laughs
good
at
one.
us.
I think we have that, and I think we can collect our fees from it.
Yeah.
Everywhere I go
And
pull a permit,
all-
they got an
all
ordinance in
set.
place.
Everybody does it, and
So
again,
we need to
like
just put an
stated,
ordinance in
we
place.
worry
and
too much
roll.
about
I think.
it.
I mean, really, your only key is on that is to create an ordinance that does not create a tax. So as
Yeah.
long as you keep the fee reasonable and whatever you have to do and your administrative costs that are
And I'm seeing
associated
fees
with
from
the fees.
$250
then-
to $500 a year along the coast.
Yeah,
That's-
what I'm
yeah.
seeing
yeah,
typically.
and look,
Is Bob and them
Yeah.
doing that?
I'll tell you now, what we wanna do
Orion?
I don't know, they would not be drafting you a
is to do this,
VRBO
and
ordinance.
we can share during budget time what we, the expectations are with it and everything.
We talked about it last year and didn't move neither.
So, but that is in the budget.
I mean, we just need to call it to a vote. Whoever don't wanna vote for it, don't vote for
Don't
it.
vote
for it.
Move on
Because the
with life.
ordinance
I'm
is,
tired of-
I mean,
That's-
the
that's
ordinance
what I'm
is
talking
We're
about.
out
missing
there and
We
you
missed
get,
a golden opportunity.
I'm
like,
tired of talking
frankly, you
about it,
get
trying
caught
to
up in
pass
a
it
lot of
around.
the weeds on things and, I mean, if you make an ordinance, that's the only thing I've ever told you, two things I've told you. One is you have to make it that your cost covers what you're doing or you're creating an illegal tax. And the other thing that I've told you is if you're creating an ordinance that's meant to regulate something, you have to have teeth in it to regulate it.
Yep.
So if you create an ordinance that doesn't have teeth to be able to either pull a permit, not allow a permit, or issue a fine,
Right.
which is technically a misdemeanor, then there's no sense in drafting an ordinance.
Let's get back on that, please.
We can recirculate it.
They already on.
Before. I thought, because we talked to Orion about that, I thought, but they were gonna help us, but I guess,
I think they just pointed out the fact that you
We
don't
needed
want
one.
a certain percentage over what your primary residences are, and I think we
Oh,
exceed that threshold, so they
Okay.
recommend.
all right, public forum, Mr. Thaddeus Black. Sidewalks, you good? Good. Miss Anita Warner, Live Oak Registry. Trees and Me's.
Yes, I've been out of town for the last couple, so I thought
Where
we
you
were
been?
talking about the oak tree regulations, this time, and Jeremy
No,
told
we
me it
brought
wasn't.
that last meeting and hope to have that finished up, new version and all for the next meeting.
Okay, great. The other thing I was gonna tell you, when you were talking about, literally got back last night, so I haven't been able to go by. But I need to go by and look at the tree you were talking about over by the old city hall. Is that what you said, City Park, the big oak
I can't believe
tree?
you haven't seen this.
I didn't get home until last
It was
night.
dark when she got
Figured
What
home.
that
have you
would
been
be the-
waiting on?
I figured that'd be your first stop.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna tell you is, we have a really good tree expert who lives here. I don't know if you know him.
He
His
was
name
there
is
today.
John Benton.
He was there today.
Yeah, John is fabulous, and he's
But
the one.
not a certified arborist.
He is a certified arborist in the state of Louisiana. He owns Bayou Tree Company, and he's probably taking care of more oak trees than
I agree 100%.
everybody around. So,
I have his recommendation.
yeah, well, good.
but-
That's good,
But
because
again,
that's who
we'll
goes.
have plenty of them, make sure they all the same.
But he's an excellent resource, and he
Very good.
retired here, so he's happy to help us.
Cool.
Okay, great,
Thank you.
thanks.
No, he is. He's just licensed in Louisiana, not
But,
Mississippi, and he's
All right,
retired.
that's all public forum. Project updates. Motion to approve recommendation by MP Design, accept the Best and lowest bid for David Rush Construction, amount of $951,400 for the renovation of Court Street Community Center.
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Salvo.
And Jared Kilpatrick is here if anybody has any questions for MP Design.
Okay.
Second.
Motion, Mr. DeSalvo, second, Mr. Reed. Great news. Something came in under budget.
Yeah.
Man, don't even talk about it.
Hey, man, I know. Got 3 alternates on there, 1, 2, and 4. Replace
Yeah.
panels, HVAC. Replace
Hey, the
wood
first one came
louvers.
in with
I know,
all
right?
ready to leave.
I was hoping nothing was missed because there was a big
Yeah,
difference on the
Yeah,
ratings.
the second two was close,
Yep.
you know,
The second two was close. That one was way.
way, oh,
there's
God.
always an outlier.
I threw the towel in already.
But, all right, any more discussions? Vote to motion.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes
Jared, do you have anything?
6-0.
When can we start? Huh?
Yep. All right, engineers report. Mr. Kanishi, any highlights, low lights, medium lights, different lights?
Thank you, Mr. Rush.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
We do have, I guess, some discussion items, and then I think they're on the consent agenda as well, and I'll probably double up on the motions, but,
Yeah,
so, still trying to get used to the new
I know,
system.
right?
Sorry about that, Caitlin.
us too.
So I think the first thing, an ARPA update, we have a motion later on to go out for bids for the, second phase of ARPA, which is to line the manholes, and the sewer mains. We're primarily targeting anything that has a major point repair or a clay line or clay pipe. Any kind of, we have some cast iron, we have some old concrete pipe, so we're looking at those areas. And so that's why we're asking for authorization to advertise phase 2. We'll see, as far as the money goes, we'll see, I think we have about $5 million left in that overall budget. So we'll set it up so that we can, add or subtract as we need to. So we can put some alternates in there as well, but that's kind of the update on that one. The other item, for the ADA Downtown Boardwalk, Phase 2, this is for the boardwalk at the GCRF Gulf Coast Restoration Fund grant. It's basically to do a boardwalk over the Skyward Pad to connect the Montlinson ramp to the existing ramp that goes down to the harbor, all the way down to the vehicular ramp. There is an alternate for a short section on the south side of vehicular ramp behind, or I guess behind or in front of Buoys and Triple Tails to do a little boardwalk in that area. This is really part of an overall master plan. We're submitting another Gulf Coast Restoration Fund to continue that boardwalk from the Montlinson Street ramp all the way down to the Almond Avenue ramp, as well as some additional ADA access points down to the beach. So this project was funded and the design was paid out through Tidelands, I believe, and then the remaining would be a grant from Gulf Coast Restoration.
Right, so if we advertise this, because we have not appropriated any money for this. We have $200,000 match, right?
Yes, it
Yes,
should be
and
appropriate.
this is not, we did not fund this during our project funding. It shows it's coming out the reserve fund, but we did not earmark any money for this project, because of all the other projects that we're funding. So I've got a note here, why do we need, if we go out and advertise for construction, we're not gonna do it, because we can't fund it. think we agreed at the May 24th council meeting, or special workshop that we had.
Yep.
We didn't approve that. We approved, for the reserve fund, we approved train depot, 108,000. We approved Court Street Community Center, 200,000. We approved canal dredge in Ward 5 and 6 for 75,000. We only approved those 3 projects coming out of reserve fund. And we didn't approve the downtown ADA Broad Walk, we didn't approve Boiler Crawl, we didn't approve Julia Street or the elevator. So we do not have funding earmarked for this project. And somebody said, well, maybe we can push it to 26, and maybe we'll be better shape, but right now, according to what we did on that May 24th project list worksheet, we did not fund this.
I thought we identified a funding source for all the projects on that list.
We identified them, but we don't have it. We identified it coming out of the reserve fund,
Mhm.
but we don't have enough in the reserve fund to fund all the projects. Because we gotta cash flow a lot of these, right? So we need to keep our cash close at hand. We don't, it's a great concept, long-term. It's a nicety.
Yeah.
Some of this other stuff's necessities, and council speak up, but this is what we decided on that night we had the meeting on the projects. This was not one that we was funding. And I thought I read somewhere that this could be a 26 project maybe, or is that the other?
We are talking about the ADA boardwalk, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, or is
This,
there more?
this is money that you have GCRF money sitting out there.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna be very frank with you, if you don't spend it pretty soon, there's a really good chance.
We don't have
come
$200,000 to
January,
match it.
Hey, that's okay,
I
it's
think
not
we
my
did.
decision to
Yes,
decide,
no,
but it's my role and my job to tell you guys that if you don't spend it,
Mhm.
just don't be mad at your legislatures
Yeah,
if come
that's fine,
January,
but-
it gets
Yes,
moved.
and that's fine.
I think
But
we
we
did.
decided on that night, we had a project meeting that we did not have the excess capital.
Viola
to do it.
Craw has no match.
And that says no match, but it was just, it's part of the reserve fund, the way it was laid out in the project sheets. And we're gonna try to and it says on here, we're gonna try to use the Ullman match for that. Did we look at that as part of the match?
I think, cause since it was privately funded and.
Yeah, I got that on my notes. We was gonna look and see if we could use that.
Isn't
Yeah,
that,
this would be an in-kind match. And then there's
Yeah.
also Tidelands too that we've identified for.
Well,
Yes,
again,
right.
I don't mind doing it. I just-
There
we
is
just don't-
multiple matches that are potential to be used, but quite frankly, until you start working with MDA and start going back and forth and presenting what they will and will accept, it's really hard to sit here and tell you what. But Kim is on go to try to use the Ullman, Pier, Tidelands. I will tell you, I can foresee I think by the end of the year, you'll probably have more money allocated to this project from another grant.
Okay, good enough.
So,
I mean, it'd be great to use that Ullman. When we went through this project list, we did not earmark $200,000 for this project because we just worried about having enough money.
cause I
cash
think
flow to
we're
fund it.
using that
Cause I think we were planning to use that match.
Almond
But-
and Tideland.
Well, again,
Not
maybe
for
that's,
this.
yeah, and hey, that would be good if we could do that.
Because
But we don't have $200,000 in reserve account today for this project.
where, I don't have my,
What do you say? It's more than 200?
No, it's 280,
Yeah,
280 match,
Yeah.
yeah.
280.
But,
Yeah, the first phase, the ramp at Alman, I think it was either 350 or 371,
yeah,
somewhere in
we
there.
had,
it'd be
we
great,
had-
I mean, that'd be a home run. If we advertise for bids, construction bids, does it muddy the water if we don't get the funding? I mean, we're in tight money crunch.
You want to table
All these-
it
all
the
these-
next one?
Yeah, we can table it for another week,
Yeah,
for another.
we're in a money
Yeah.
crunch with all these projects we got coming up, and that's why we had that special workshop to
Mhm.
figure out what money we're gonna, try to allocate. I mean, I'm pushing out sidewalks, cause sidewalks ain't a necessity, they're niceties right now. We need to get the sewer and everything else done.
And even from a timing standpoint, I mean, even if we authorize it tonight, it's still about a month to advertise it. I mean, more than likely before anything is expended, it'll be in the next budget cycle, I would
I would
imagine.
think so, yes.
Yeah. Alright, so we'll just table this and find out if we can use the Ullman match somehow? Is that possible?
I'm not gonna commit to that because, I mean, Jason knows we've all been working as a team. This is whenever everything comes in, you submit it and they kind of determine what they will and will not take. So
Well,
I don't think anybody is willing to tell you for sure
I didn't, I just asked.
that.
But Jason, you said you got till when to file this?
I'm sorry?
Then you.
I said if we wanted to table it to determine if that match was available. I mean, it's a project that's been on the books for probably 2 years
Yeah.
now.
2
Oh, we've
years.
had
We got 2
funding now
years.
for it for,
Yep, oh yeah, and
At
we
least
agree,
2
I mean, we
years.
were running along fat, dumb, and happy, and we realized, hey, we got
Do we have time to take?
$10 million we gotta put out, and we don't have but 8.
I'm with Heather. I mean, if we don't do it, then I don't know what they're gonna, once they get back in session in January.
weeks
they'll
is
pull
not gonna
something
hurt,
back.
correct?
But I don't, 2 weeks probably wouldn't hurt, but
Okay.
we can do some
Yeah,
more,
let's just look at it.
do some
Yeah.
research on it.
Yeah,
So let's table it.
I think, is that down in, further down in discussion or consent agenda, Caitlin?
Probably so.
That's the one, yeah.
Okay, so both of those motions are to,
no, it was number 14's under project updates.
Yeah, but is it also under the consent agenda, I guess?
The authorization for bid is on project updates. I don't know why it would be on.
Make sure it hadn't got through.
all right.
Yeah, the only thing we have on consent is the, it's for the Bayou LaCroix project.
Okay, so we need to make a motion then for this one. Find the right tab, Josh. So I need to make a
Yeah, but we
motion to authorize the advertisement of construction bids for Bay St. Louis Sewer Improvement Project, ARPA Phase 2. Is that correct, Jason?
Yes, yes, sir.
Need a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Salvo,
Second.
second, Mr. Hoffman. Any discussion? Let's vote the motion.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Aye, motion passed 6-0.
Okay, thank you. So I guess item 16 is the Go Mesa application. These are due at the end of June. And we actually have 2 applications. One is for, I think the one that's probably in your packet, is for additional sewer improvement. The same thing we submitted last year to try to continue the sewer improvements throughout the city. We're saying about $4 million is what we think we need for that. That will go in conjunction with the ARPA funds that we already have. That's one project. Another one is for some harbor improvements for the repairs to the settlement. This is not in your packet. We just had a meeting with DMR on Friday. They did say that there was a potential for another source of funds through Go Mesa that would be for hurricane mitigation and resiliency.
Cool.
So they asked us to get it written up that way, present it to you guys. So that's how we wrote it up, is to prevent additional settlement. If we have any storms this hurricane season and we have any overtopping of that wall, that could make the settlement issues worse. Weaken the wall, weaken the parking lot, things like that.
Right.
So
Okay.
it felt like it'd be a good candidate for the emergency funds that
Right.
they have there.
So is that where's that at?
You don't have it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
we just
We need to make a motion.
need to make a motion to submit, for the mayor to execute both of those applications
Both of
and
them.
submit them.
Okay, motion, Mr. Hoffman,
Yeah.
Second.
second, Mr. Salvo. Any discussion? Let's vote the motion.
Aye.
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 Aye, motion passes 6-0. You got those, Caitlin, with you, the 2?
I'll get them to her. It's for the harbor repairs and citywide sewer.
Yes.
It's actually an online application. Once we get it submitted, we'll get a hard copy of it, and then that way we'll get the mayor to execute it. We can circulate that for the
Okay.
spread on the minute.
Cool. Thank you, that's great.
Alrighty. I think the last item I had is, for Tidelands.
Is that part of the money you said we could use for the boardwalk?
Part of Thailand's we was trying
Part
to
of
use.
Tidelands could be used for a match, and we can confirm that as well. These are new applications. Actually, it's just one application this year.
Gene, that's previous Tidelands.
Yeah, previous allocated Tidelands. You should have this one, I believe. It's, again, for additional improvements to the harbor. We wrote it pretty general, so we could use it for a lot of different things down there. Additional golf cart parking, improvements to the Rutherford Fishing Pier. This is a funding request of $350,000 which will go to the state legislature. If we could get a motion on that one as well, we can get that submitted by the end of June.
Need a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Hoffman.
Second.
Second, Mr. Reed. Further discussion? Vote the motion.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye, motion passed 6-0.
And Gene, to answer your question, I believe that some of that boardwalk, some of the engineering fees that have already been paid were paid out of Tidelands funds, weren't they, Jason?
That's right.
So that's part of the,
Part of it.
that we're gonna attempt to use as part of the match.
Some of the Thailand's funds was for the harbor, right? For the part of that $1 million for repair.
Some of it
The
is
rest
being
of it was
reallocated.
reallocated.
Okay.
So there's a
Well,
portion that was spent on engineering fees, and then the rest of it was
Okay. Yeah,
reallocated.
'cause I thought we were trying to use that to make up that $1 million
You are.
initial.
Right.
I think the initial
are.
$1 million.
That's
Okay.
right.
Thank you.
So those are the major items I had. I did want to mention one other thing. We do have a workshop. We talked about this before, but on June 27th for the CRS and MS4 permit. I think it's at 11. It's really on at developers, contractors, lenders, people like that that are working on projects, residential projects, that they have information on flood zones, what the MS4 permit's all about. It'll be good training for Ronnie's crew and his public works staff. So that's coming up on the 24th, again, just to let you guys know about it. And then if there's any other questions, I'll be happy to address those.
Can we, try to find any funding for additional parking at the boat launch, because it's becoming, it's becoming the problem on Saturdays
My
now.
God, yeah, man, they're everywhere, huh?
They're all the way down the, every
What we
weekend
trying to
lately.
acquire?
Yeah, there's
I just
a
noticed,
couple parcels.
2 parcels there.
we just didn't submit no time.
Trying to
again
find funds for 'em.
this year, so.
Grants,
Tried
whatever
Guidelines.
yes.
You just need the money.
Okay. I know we
Oh.
talked about it, just wasn't sure. There's none of them big fishing grants or none of that? That's big boat.
They don't really
grants.
cover, big
Some
and
of them don't
bag.
cover purchase of property.
Purchase
Yeah.
property.
that's the
That's-
problem, is
Oh.
there's not much
It's
out there
not-
you can buy
right.
property with.
Quite frankly, typically, the easiest way to purchase property is gonna be using city money. Because when you start purchasing property out of grant funds, it could just get really complicated, especially if federal money's involved.
What's the,
You know, we put in that one time for some funds to purchase that whole
We won't
street,
talk about that now.
you know, so
Yeah.
that didn't go through. Someone beat us to the punch
Simple.
on the one, but
we just need to
Yeah.
figure out what we need to look at budgeting or,
So we definitely need more parking.
you know.
And the problem with that is,
whole
you
street.
know, I could tell you what the guy wanted a few years ago down the street, but I'm sure he wants, so that's the hard part of budgeting that, is that
Well,
the
you
You
longer.
can only pay
it's-
appraised value though, right?
Well, yeah, but the appraised value goes, but that piece of property now versus 3 years ago,
Oh,
after
yeah.
you put that boat launch and it cleared up the end, it's,
Yeah.
now that subdivision's going in.
They created a nuisance, maybe it'd be cheaper.
Yeah.
That's true too. But, yeah, no, so
Got a
property
parking
values
problem
keep
now.
going up, so.
Right.
He's passed away and all that's going through probate,
Mhm.
and, I got his stepdaughter's number.
Oh,
She's
good.
the one handling that.
That's the one on the end?
Yes.
Very
The
end?
original one.
The
we looked at.
closest to,
Yeah.
Sugarfield.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
Had a real estate agent call me a month ago and said he was representing the family on that. If we ever decided we wanted to buy it, I said, yeah,
So.
who he worked for.
That's
Good.
it, unless y'all have any other questions.
Happy birthday. Is your birthday today, buddy?
Yes, it is.
Happy
Like Chuck E.
birthday.
Cheese, you want to sing happy birthday to you?
I'm good, thank
You
you.
good? You
Yeah.
sure? I mean, we can
My
sing, we
staff
got some
handled that
singers up
today.
here.
I think we're good, thank you, though.
Good. Mr. Reed, boy, he can, by the bass there.
All right.
All right.
Sit down. Maybe next year.
Look
Thank
like
you, buddy.
that Trying to
All
get
right,
Chuck E.
thank you.
Cheese up.
Happy, you gonna do Chuck E. Cheese dance? Man. Uh-oh. Find my meeting notice. Here we are. All right. So we covered everything for you. City clerk's report. Docket. Anybody got any questions on the docket? I think I sent. Good job from administration on clearing up the utility issue at the senior center. Only other thing I get, inmate housing cost was up 5680. We still do those monthly kind of,
Yeah. I think they've been pretty good.
putting more bad guys in jail, right?
Yeah, and we have one that's in there now. No job how long.
Yeah. All right, need a motion approved, docket claims 24-032 in the amount of $529,577.17.
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Salvo,
Second.
second, Mr. Lewis. Any discussion? Just vote to motion.
Aye.
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 Aye, motion passes 6-0. Motion approved, docket of claims 24-003 special dated June 18th, 2024. That was the docket for the 4 new Ram pickup trucks for $74,500. Any motion?
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Salvo.
Second.
Second, Mr. Hoffman. Any discussion? Vote to motion.
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes 6-0. Consent agenda, just be aware, the motion, the budget calendar is presented, so we'd have dates for the budget calendar, with Sir?
That's July 5th. I don't know if it's been changed on the agenda from July 4th.
It is, it's fixed.
Okay.
Okay.
The only thing I asked to remove is, I think it's item 28
AT&T cell phone?
for the elevator repair.
That's 28.
29.
I asked to remove that, and reason being, we'll make, we have a new, we're gonna end up with a new contract with someone else, would like for them to come in and look at it. We have not had problem, and I know it's a 50/50 grant to replace it, but again, that's $30,000-$40,000 on our end, but I wanna make sure that it needs to be replaced. Again, we haven't had calls, they've been very few, non-existent lately. So, would like to just get another set of eyes on it and see what they thinking of before. We've got two people coming that's looking at the contract and talk to them at the same time they come.
What did they do different on those repairs? Anything to make it hold?
No,
No.
minor, just very minor things found. One time it was out of balance and all, and should have been caught. Wasn't caught for a period of time. That's when it kept kicking out from time to time. But since then, I think we've had one call, and it was something very minor, just needed an adjustment on it.
So one call within within the past how?
Months, pretty much.
You just want to get a second
We would
opinion
like to
coming up.
just get a second opinion, third opinion, with the two coming in, because one of these two will probably also get the contract for the upkeep of it as well.
Of all the elevators for the city?
Yes.
So how long is this gonna take, Mike?
Next meeting, we should have something.
Okay.
Let's table this.
So,
Yeah, I would like to just remove it, give us a chance to look into it, because again, as long as we're not having problems, that's the best way right now to spend our money for something that it's not, I guess it may be old in the elevator world from the late 90s, or, I don't know if that's old.
Well, I was just wondering, how old is
Late
that
90s,
elevator?
Not as old as I thought.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure if it was,
But it is, some of the parts may be getting hard, and that's what we want to talk to them about as well.
so the next meeting, we should be able to
We
move
should,
forward
we
with
should
this.
know, yeah.
put that on
Okay.
for next meeting, please.
And we're good on terms of what that time frame of that quote is?
Yeah, I think we're good on that. And we also want to talk to, the one that got it, make sure that covers everything that is seen. They will also be put in for the contract, for the maintenance of it as well.
Okay. Consent agenda items, the Pafford, lease, 1-year lease at $500 a month. They're just renting one space, so we're, I don't know what we're doing.
Yeah,
Why-
Fire Station 1, there's an office in there that they'll use, to house them.
Okay.
Downstairs, down low, for when they need it to get in and out. They'll also have access to the other room, down there, the kitchen area.
Right.
Which number you looking at, Doug?
That was,
Number 27.
yeah, 27. $500 a month, 1-year lease.
Pafford's the new AMR, new ambulance service.
Be the first time we ever had one house. Well,
Right.
maybe way back when it was over by the Boys and Girls Club, it might have been housed over there a little bit, but this,
I see a lot more presence.
Me too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've heard a lot of good things from other municipalities that have had them for a little while.
Good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh, Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh, 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 uh,
they do any kind of in-kind service for us, trainings and stuff, equipment, I know.
Yeah, they provide us with equipment as well, some of the things we need, some of the supplies and all, they reinforce, replace what's needed when used and all, different things.
Awesome. All right, any more questions, consent agenda? I'm removing item number 29. No more questions, need a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Hoffman,
Second.
second, Mr. Salvo. Any more discussion? Vote to motion?
Aye.
Aye.
I think it's 29, right?
Yeah.
Aye, motion passes 6-0. All right, spread, spread reports, minutes, cash balances, Bay St. Louis payroll, Bay St. Louis payroll hours, monthly harbor reports, Motion to spread those on the minutes.
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Hoffman,
Second.
second, Mr. Lewis. Any further discussions, vote the motion.
Aye.
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 Aye, motion passed 6-0.
And Caitlin, you may want to just do from now on, like, motion to spread and put the following reports and then just have them all as attachments, so you don't have to go through and do.
Is there
That's
some
what I
reason
Made
we
sense.
stopped putting all that together?
Huh?
Is there some reason we took those off the consent agenda?
Yeah, I just, when I saw it, yeah, it used to all be part of the consent agenda, but,
Well, they can be either place. I just, instead of y'all having to go
no,
through
yeah,
and
that's
do
why I
it
just
Yeah.
kinda read them
remote,
off.
so you can do the
I didn't
spread
know-
reports if you want to just do one motion to spread
Spread the
cash
report.
balances, payroll,
Gotcha.
you
Yeah,
know,
that's
whatever,
kinda
and
what
then just have them all
You
listed.
still keep it separated and
I
just
just think
spread
it's
report.
cleaner.
Okay, 10-4. Your turn.
Just back with the redistricting.
All right. Any more questions on this? Move forward, need a motion to approve, ordinance 665-06-2024, ordinance adopting redistricting ward boundaries for the city of Bay St. Louis.
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Hoffman,
Second.
second, Mr. Salvo. Any more discussion?
Yeah, and I just want to reiterate, I think Mike Russo had sent out a confirmation that they are going to, they notify anybody that's changed, getting their new cards. He'd follow that up the next day to us on email, so that's,
Yeah, we just approved $2,500 payment for the circuit clerk's office to do the redistricting updates on the state voter system, whatever it is.
And then, yeah, and
Any more
get everything
discussion?
pushed out.
Vote the motion.
Aye.
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 Aye, motion passed 6-0. Executive session needed? Motion to adjourn. Oh,
Motion.
hold up.
Yeah, sorry.
Hold up. Mr. Lewis
Can-
got something.
Can we talk about the Valentine Central application, or petition that was sent? I know the city was served a couple weeks ago, so just wanted to
Yeah, we
see if we
can.
can discuss
Executive,
that.
So you
gotta
wanna
go to
talk-
executive session
Go into
or?
executive session?
Gotta go to
Probably so.
executive
Yeah, if you
session.
want to.
I think so, yeah.
All right,
If they want to talk about the Valentine one. I don't have it in front of me, so I'm going to be going off my head, but that's fine. We can do that for sure.
all right, need a motion to determine the necessity of a
Need a motion to go into closed session.
motion to go in closed session for legal discussions
To
on.
discuss the petition filed by Valentine Property
Valentine.
LLC, I think. Let me see.
Motion.
All right, motion, Mr. Hoffman,
Second.
second, Mr. Lewis. All in favor, vote the motion.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Aye, motion passed 6-0. Motion to go in executive session.
Yeah, Caitlin, it's Valentine Properties LLC versus the City of Bay St. Louis et al. And it's a complaint to vacate and alter plat of real property.
All right, motion to go in executive session.
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Reed,
Second.
second, Mr. Lewis. Vote the motion.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, we're in closed meeting. Thank y'all.
And we will